Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Kristiaan van Dijken. I work at TPConnects and I'm heading up the product management team for Airline Solutions. Although he could not be with us today in person, I'm really proud and honored to have with me Vikas Manra. Vikas, can you hear us okay? And if you can you introduce yourself?
Sure. Hi, Kristiaan, and good afternoon, everyone. My name is Vikas Manra, and I'm pleased to connect through Bahrain to London. First of all, apologies for not being there in person. To some personal commitments, I couldn't be there, but very happy to be here. I've been with the Gulf Air for the last 5 years, where I had business development and distribution, and I've spent about 27 years in the aviation industry with brands like Qatar Airways, Austrian Airlines, Star Alliance, and like. Very pleased to be here and looking forward to this very interesting conversation with Kristiaan, who have been our technology partners in the journey of NDC.
Brilliant, thank you, Vikas. So the chat we're going to have today is around NDC airline retailing and the partnership between Gulf Air and TPConnects, really. As a first question, the journey you've been on in the past few years, could you describe it and can you highlight some learnings you've had from the whole journey itself?
Sure. Thanks, Kristiaan, for the question. I will actually start from the day I actually joined Gulf Air. Now, Gulf Air has been a legacy carrier flying since 1950. When in 2019 we decided to kind of reinvent Gulf Air and actually treat it as a legacy startup. So we looked at how we should be looking at the next 10, 20, 30 years for Gulf Air, and decided that we will go on a boutique strategy path, which will create a personalized service space for our customers. And in that endeavor, the first thing that came across to us is how would we distribute in the new landscape. And for managing that challenge, we went out to the market. We had a detailed discussions with T2RL at that time. T2RL were actually partnering us for a distribution forensics project with IATA, and of course we went out with an RFI in the market space, understood what all providers were available, and there comes TPConnects, and this is where they kind of we started the journey with them in 2020, and since then it has been an exciting path, because what we were looking at that point in time is to address this challenge of how do we modernize the distribution framework, how do we look at the journey from being just a ticket seller to being an airline retailer. And in that journey, this is where TPConnects came in and have been helping us in doing this transformation. And it's been a very exciting journey so far.
Brilliant, that's good to hear. And it's both the NDC space, but also you've got the holiday side of things as well that you've been working on as such together with TPConnects,
sure.
Correct?
Sure, NDC, and I kind of very much agree to the previous speaker here, that it is all about learning, it is all about experimentation. So this is where the scalability and the modular approach of TPConnects really help us. We've been experimenting various products. Perhaps we are the first ones in the industry to come up with a solution, which is a holiday solution powered purely by NDC. We tried NDC for our charters business. We have tried NDC in various areas that were never tried before. And this is all about learning and that we gain from this. Because all in all, what we're trying to do is we are not trying to limit ourselves. For that path, definitely as a partner, TPConnects has been standing alongside with us. Of course, there are always challenges with every new technology, with every new platform. The biggest challenge that that will come in, and this is a kind of a lesson learning from our side, is to first convince the internal stakeholders. Now, definitely, as a management team, it's easier for them to get convinced that NDC is the right path to go. But to convince your internal stakeholders for all the departments, because it's not just about commercial, it's all about the entire organization and how the entire organization move together in doing this transformation. So whether it is revenue management, whether it is marketing, digital, revenue accounting, so all in all stakeholders have to evolve to this new way of distribution. And throughout this journey, they have been a very patient partner with us. And we've been trying to work around a lot of areas, and so far so good. Yeah.
Brilliant. So just to ask you about the transformation you just talked about, really, I would imagine that is a continuous piece. It never stops, really, does it?
Yeah.
So if I was to look then, if we look forward, what do you see as the next steps in terms of where does Gulf Air, where are you seeing the journey going with airline retailing? And what do you expect from technology partners like TPConnects in terms of what they should be offering you from a industry knowledge perspective or whatever it may be?
Good question, Kristiaan. Now, this is a very interesting phase that we are passing through. Now, I think the initial learnings have been done. The acceptability of the standards are across the stakeholders, right? So there are no more stakeholders in the value chain that are pushing back for adoption, so which is a very big positive. Now, from here on, it is all about commercialization, and it is left to the individual airline as to how do they actually envisage this. Now, for us, how we have considered NDC to be the core of our retailing journey is because what we're looking at is to create those personalized offers for our customers that were not traditionally possible with the existing channels, right? So creating those new touch points for our customers and allowing them to actually choose a channel rather than forcing them on a channel. So for that, we almost have become channel agnostic. We are trying to present an omni-channel offer for our customer. We are making sure that it's the customer who's at the center stage rather than us driving that change for him. So that the behavior, as the customers are more digitally savvy, as the customers are more acquainted with mobile payments. So we are trying to capitalize on that aspect, which kind of COVID propagated. And that in that whole sphere, there is a lot of work to be done. The challenge is immense because still the pace at which now the things will move will be very, very fast. And as a technology partner, this is where we look up to our core technology partners, because to scale this up and scale this up at a very fast pace, because all that I see from here on is a trajectory like this, right? So we have done that, base part, which is stabilizing the overall schema, stabilizing the product. But from here on, when we go and commercialize it, we are looking for that support to basically take it up, scale it up, and then diversify it into various channels.
Brilliant. And that probably links to the theme that we have here at T2RL Engage during this session, which is very much around offer, order, settle, and deliver as such, really, which obviously is a longer journey in terms of how do we get, let's say, go away from the legacy PSS type environments into this more modern type of ecosystem, really. From your perspective, do you see this as the next big critical item to focus on? Or is there something else like the element in terms of how you may wish to collaborate with other airlines in terms of making it easier for travel sellers to sell your content and things like that? What is the next best thing from your perspective that we should be focusing on?
I think the next big thing for us is to bring in the element of simplification in this whole value chain, right? Distribution as a subject has been a very complex subject, and that's the reason it has been in the helms of the intelligent people of revenue management. Now, suddenly, over the last few years, distribution is moving more into the sales domain from revenue management, and the sales people are very simple people, which means that whatever they want to kind of promote and propagate have to be simple as well. So we have to bring the simplicity into the solutioning. What we have to look at is, again, the customers don't understand the complexities behind the typical airline legacy systems or even the modern airline retailing systems. For a customer, it's an offer at the right time and the right channel. So that is what is very, very critical. And how do we get there will be very, very important for the next few years, which means that the transition to the one order, which also will mean that we will simplify this whole complex jargons of PNR, tickets, RBDs, they all have to give way to that simple offer, dynamically priced for that customer at that point where he's asking for it and which channel he's asking for it.
Yeah, and you're right. I mean, you're talking about the reason why we're doing it is to focus on the customer. You know, to make it simpler for them and to give them a seamless journey in a way, correct?
Absolutely, absolutely. Because ultimately, you know, the customer, and this is unfortunate part of which has been there for a very long time. You know, the customer perspective, though has been kept in the center, but yet ignored, because we've been trying to devise systems in and around as a workaround solutions, right? We have never done that exercise wherein we actually look at something from base zero to see that, okay, a customer, if he is buying a particular, let's say a service or a product today in a different environment, how is his journey looking like versus buying a travel product or a service, right? Now, if we compare the two, the complexities around the travel, you know, there are intricacies. You know, you mentioned about how do we work with other travel partners, how do we work with other airlines. Now, these are all complexities in their traffic business. But then these complexities are not very difficult to mitigate once we use the actual modern open schemas, right? So this is where these open schemas will come and help and plug these loopholes that have been traditionally being very complex jigsaw puzzles for the airlines. And that eventually will lead to a more customer-friendly, seamless solution. And that's what we are all aiming for.
So that means, in a way, that what you're saying is that technology is a subset of the transformation, in a way, that you're going through as an organization, isn't it?
Absolutely. It's just a catalyst. It's a catalyst to me. And this is a very important catalyst. So we can't do one without the other, so as to say, yeah.
Brilliant. I'm just going to open up to the room to see whether there's any questions here that anybody wants to ask.
Sure.
Anybody? It's quiet, Vikas. It is very quiet.
It's very quiet, my God. Kristiaan, you've done a wonderful job on the stage, yeah.
Well, I think what's important for everybody, and Vikas, hopefully you'll agree with me, for anybody who's got any questions, they want to reach out either to ourselves at TPConnects or to Gulf Air, I'm sure we can, you know, reach out to you and pass the questions on in case anybody wants to get a better understanding, maybe a bit of a deep dive, either at TPConnects or Gulf Air. I'm sure you're happy as well to accommodate, correct?
Absolutely, yes. Absolutely, yes. And it's been a pleasure to be sharing the virtual stage with you.
No, it's been really a pleasure for having you here. You know, like I said, it's a shame you can't be here in person, but really this is the next best thing. So thank you very much for joining us today. Hopefully this was a good insights for the audience here as well. So again, Vikas, thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you so much, and have a lovely conference.
Thanks, Vikas. So just for everybody, obviously myself and my colleagues, we're here, we're around, we're either on stand, but if you want to know more, a little bit more about TPConnects, please scan the QR code and you'll connect to our website as well. Thank you very much, everyone.
Please put your hands together for our speakers, Kristiaan and Vikas.